Hi guys, it's Jess from Honest Fiction and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review followed by a spoilery discussion of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Alright guys, similar to my other videos, this will be a spoiler-free review for Shadow and Bone. It will talk about the plot, characters, world building, writing style, and pacing. So then I will have a spoilery discussion. However, I will definitely post a spoiler notification somewhere on the screen in case you're worried about being spoiled. Also, if you don't know yet, I post new videos every Tuesday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to my channel. And you can also hit that notification button if you want to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. With that being said, let's jump into the plot. So the plot of the story follows Alina Starkov, and she is this orphan girl who grew up in an orphanage with her friend Mal, and they have both become soldiers. And one day they are sent to the Shadowfold, which is this horrible area that's just pitch black and full of monsters, and it's kind of like devouring this section of Ravka, the shirt, where they are from. So they are sent there, and when Mal is attacked, Alina shows her power, and it turns out that Alina is Grisha. So what are Grisha? Grisha are the military elite of Ravka. They all have these really awesome powers. Some are able to stop hearts, others are able to heal. They can manipulate wind and fire, and it's very, I love the magic system in this. It's very, very cool. So Alina realizes that she is a Grisha, so she is taken to train with the Grisha, and it's this very lavish lifestyle that she's not used to, and there she meets the Darkling, who is in charge of all of the Grisha, and he kind of helps her understand her power and understand herself. And then things really progress from there. I don't want to give away too many spoilers for this, and this is just the first book, there's a lot of twists and turns, but it was very enjoyable. I actually liked the plot of this particular book probably more than the other two, which is very funny because I feel like nothing really happens in this book. It's like a lot of training montages and then like a crazy ending, but I just enjoyed kind of understanding the world, and I think the world is my favorite aspect of this book. But with that being said, let me jump into the characters. All right, characters in this book. So we have Alina, who I talked about, who finds out that she is a Grisha. She is a sun summoner. I don't think that's really giving away any spoilers. And she is able to control light. And unlike all the other Grisha, who are kind of tested as a child, she was tested, but she never showed this power. So she wasn't raised as a Grisha, which I think kind of gives her a little bit of a complexity. So she's not kind of, there's some other characters that come off kind of snobbish just because they were raised and kind of glorified because they have this power. We also learn later that that isn't the case for all Grisha, but that's kind of later in the series. So I liked Alina. I thought she was not like other girls, which Leigh Bardugo makes she throws that out there a lot. I don't know. I think she could have been developed a little bit more. I think she makes some very questionable choices, and it just reads as very young adult, which is funny because I feel like Leigh Bardugo can write really good, well-rounded characters. I'm just not really sure if Alina was it. And then the Darkling, I actually did a vlog of this. I'll link that in the cards and down below. And I liked the Darkling as a character. I think it's very cool that we get to see his motivations and get to see him as different roles. That's all I'm going to say on that until we get to like the spoiler discussion. And then Mal is Mal. He's kind of like a PETA character. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of PETA, so the Hunger Games, for those of you who don't know. But he was fine. He was fine. There are side characters in this that I end up loving. Unfortunately, they're not in the first book. They are later in the series. But yeah, for this book in particular, there's Voya, I think is her name. She's kind of like this sassy Grisha. Like I said, she was raised very wealthy, so she kind of has like a sarcastic personality. I really like her. And there's a few other characters, but I think the characters, especially the main characters, just could have been developed a little bit better. But personally, that's just my taste, and I don't think it takes away from the book. I would still reread this book. Like, I think it's still a good series. I wish I cared about the characters a little bit more. The world building in this, however, is absolutely phenomenal, and I loved it so much. So the setting is this like Russian, I don't even know if it's like wintry. It's kind of wintry in this book, but it's just the clothing they're wearing, the food they're eating. It feels so immersive, and I just love it. I love it so much. I loved the world building in this, and like the setting and everything about it. It just felt very realized, and I understand, I believe like Six of Crows and everything is also set in this world, and I love this world, and I will read more books just so I can go back to this world. So not necessarily the characters, the world in general though is just great, and the magic system was really cool. So let me jump into magic system. So the magic system is the Grisha, and the Grisha all have these powers. Obviously the Darkling is the strongest of the Grisha. His power is darkness, and then you have Alina, whose power is sunlight. Obviously those two kind of go together. But I really liked seeing all of the different Grisha, and I love training montages in books. Not always, like they have to be done right. Sometimes I think they're really boring, and I kind of did end up liking it in this. Although I think in the vlog, when I was reading it, I was kind of annoyed during it, but like it is kind of cool. I like the side characters. I liked learning how they trained and like how their emotions could dictate their powers, and it was just, the magic system was awesome. I really liked all of the Grisha and all of that aspect. Throughout the story, not throughout the story, I guess towards the end, they are looking for Mortskova's stag, which is an amplifier. So we also learn that the Grisha's powers can be amplified if you have certain amplifiers, and Mortskova's stag is the strongest of the amplifiers, and Alina is looking for it towards the end of the book. And I thought that was really cool. I like as the series progresses, you kind of get to know more about all of that. So yeah, I thought the magic system and the world building were both really, really well done. All right, pacing and writing style. Both of these. So I'm gonna just focus on the first book. I think the writing was a little weak. I think it could have been done a little bit better, and only because I've read other things by Leigh Bardugo. I think Ninth House I read. The writing in that, actually the writing in that also wasn't great, but it was better than this. This just felt old school YA, which once again, I guess I really can't hate because I guess it is a little bit more old school YA, but I don't know. I think the writing, it could have been a little bit better. It was very simplistic, I think is the best way. I keep saying old school YA meaning simplistic, and those are not synonymous with each other, and I don't want to say all YA is simplistic. It was just, everything was very straightforward and thrown at you instead of like, I don't even like really lyrical writing, but I wish it was a little bit more, not like so in your face, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Pacing, I thought the pacing was pretty well done. I mean, I flew through this book. I read it so quick. I don't think I like got to the last chapter and I was like, that's it? Like, you read them very fast. So I think the pacing was very good. I think there's always something exciting happening. Even the training montage, like I said in the vlog, I wasn't a fan of. It was still interesting, and it was fascinating to find out a little bit about these characters. So I will say the pacing actually was very well done. All right, so now I'm going to get into spoilers. So if you have not read this book, please do not continue. I will also leave a timestamp of when I do the overview, so that way if you just want to skip this part and go straight to my overall thoughts of the book, you guys can do that without being spoiled. So there's your warning, jumping into spoilers starting now. Okay, so I was one of those people that kind of had a heads up that the Darkling was not endgame. However, I don't know, it was such a weird feeling going from like, oh, he's like a great love interest to suddenly like he's the main villain of the story. I think I kind of liked it. I don't know. It was very jarring, and I do like how the series progresses and how we have the Darkling's motivations already kind of established. So we kind of get to see like what his feelings were from his side instead of just being like he's a villain, he has like terrible motivations, because he is doing what he thinks is best for Ravka, but he's also kind of a jerk. So I don't know. Mal, I hate that character. I think he is the most boring, like, there's just nothing good about him. Even the way he treats Alina, he kind of is like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but like he treats her like I'm the man, yada. Like I can't. I can't with Mal. Don't like him. And I feel like we did so much to progress Alina's growth throughout the beginning of this and through the training sequence. And she actually has to like let go of Mal in order to kind of get her full power. So then when we just kind of go back to Mal and we reverse all of that, I just didn't understand that whole dynamic. And I get that they're friends. I don't know. I think I'm still bitter about the ending of this whole entire series. But those are my thoughts in terms of like the relationship of all of this. I also have a lot of questions about Mortsova's stag and things that went down with that in terms of the ending of this series that I'm also not going to get into. Maybe I'll do an entire like Shadow and Bone like opinions video because I have a lot of opinions about the whole entire trilogy like as a whole. But yeah, so that's how I feel about the romance and everything. I just didn't want to put that in the actual character section just because it does include a lot of spoilers. So overall, I did enjoy this book. Like I said, this might be my favorite out of all of the books, and I still wouldn't say this book was absolutely amazing. I think it's entertaining. Am I looking forward to the show? Hell yes. I cannot wait to see a TV adaptation of this. I am very excited. I think it's going to be really good from what I've seen so far. I will probably reread the series in the future. Definitely going to read Six of Crows, and I believe King of Scars is also in this world. Like I said, love the world building. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts on Shadow and Bone. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Like I said earlier, I post new videos every Tuesday and Sunday, and please like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next week. Bye.